Not sure if this would work. Yeah, we are now on YouTube, so you guys can check it out later after the meeting. And hello, YouTube. Hello, everyone. Now we are finally start the properly conversation. Are you guys able to see the questions on the chat? Is it available for you? Question number 1, 2, 3 to 10. I hope so. So let's start with the first one. Marcus, do you support affirmative action? Why not?
Every time I forgot the activity, the mood. Well, if I understand the question, I if I support affirmative action, if I agree with the, the some, how can I say? Uh, because I try to understand some better the question to for doing.
Yeah, is it if you
I
agree
don't
with
know.
it, if you find an interest in using it in society and institutions, and if you just support in the sense of, oh, this is a good thing, or I want this to keep working in society.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Uh, I think the sport affirmative action is important because we have a lot of thinking about to in the world, right? Uh, the people need some help with a lot of things uh, that make some not make the right answer. Uh, I don't know why how can I answer like the way I can express some better. Uh, I have to think some one more time and you know can I pass this
Yeah,
question?
yeah, no, it's totally fine. You don't need to answer everything. We can you can maybe do better in the second or third question. It's okay if you don't wanna or if you don't feel good talking about this right now. And Elio can answer for us and give some light in here, right, Elio?
Yes, I totally support affirmative action. And it's important to lots of um, underrepresented groups here, especially in Brazil, racial groups, and even social groups. Um, and I read an article a few years ago about a public university here in Campinas. Um, it's the affirmative action was firstly implemented with social codes here at this university, and they made a research about the how how the students that um, was admitted using the affirmative action, and the results was quite surprising because they had uh, good, very good um, results in their students, and sometimes even better than students without uh, this policy. So it shows a different result than in the common sense. But I think it's very important.
Yeah, yeah. I do agree with you, Elio, and I think we live in a country and in a society that is really full of inequality. So not everyone have the same opportunities, and some of them need some help, need some policies, need
Yes,
somebody or something to put them in places that they would never be alone. Not because they can't, but because they're not allowed to, considering the
yes. They
context.
don't have the same opportunities. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yeah,
So, and when like we're talking about ratio, for an example, when there are some places specifically to them to be there, maybe we are, I don't know, allowing them to live, allowing them to work, allowing them to study, and to try to change their lives, just like everyone has the opportunity to.
yeah.
So that's why I support affirmative action. I don't think it's the better ever way to, I don't know, rebuild society, but I think is nowadays I think it's the better, but maybe the future, if we change as a society, we won't
Mm.
need it anymore, but we need, unfortunately.
Nowadays, I think it's extremely important.
Yeah. So Marcus, do you want to say something about the first question, or do you want to move on to the second one?
Yeah, I agree with you with the talk and the this thing this affirmative action is important because now I understand the really important how it is because my life I study in public school. I consider the pardon. I don't know if in English is like this pardon because my mother is India and my father is black and I'm considered Pardo. I studied with the with Bolsa because we don't have much money when I young. So there's some affirmative action in my school in, in beginning my life is very important. So uh, I think it is very important. I agree with you.
Yeah, yeah. And question number two asks, how would you describe the true goal of an affirmative action? I would describe as fighting inequality and maybe putting people in places that they could never be just by themselves, and actually try to build a society based in equal opportunities, or maybe even I would describe as a a force, or maybe forcing like using count, forcing people to do things that just, I don't know, white people can do, or just men can do, or just people who are from private schools can do, because we can clearly see the difference between them, and not because one is most smart or is, I don't know, pretty, or I don't know, it's not about them, it's about society, and it's about the group that these people are in. So yeah, that's how I would describe. What about you, Elio? How would you describe?
For me, uh, it's a policy to uh, which aims to provide an equal treatment for for groups of people who had unequal opportunities. Like you said, and Marcus said, if you look at a guy who studied all his life in a public school, he had different opportunities than a guy who studied all his life in a private school, in an expensive private school. So they are not equal to apply for a university or even for a job in the future. It is, I think, this kind of policy tries to has the goal of equalize this inequality.
Yeah, that was a perfect answer, Elio. Marcos, how would you describe using your words?
Yeah. Uh, how Elio said, I think the they put the equal condition for two peoples that had a different kind of life, you know. But I think that the total position, the affirmative uh, action, is help the people don't take the same condition, right? But we know that everywhere there are some people that, that take away the get out the goal there are, and this institution uh, put the other institution is really he, he want to go to the real position, the real objective of help these people. Uh, put it away the how can I say, there are good institution that can be a good job, and another not so good because some person, because the real true goal of affirmative action is help the people, help the world, make the better world and the more opportunity for the everyone. That's the real goal of affirmative action.
Yeah, yeah. So question number three is a tricky question. What's the difference between equal opportunity and affirmative action policies? Uh, could you answer this, Elio?
I think so. Um, Equal opportunities is when people have the same opportunities during his history. Uh, Affirmative action try to equalize people without these opportunities with people with these opportunities. I think it's just a simplified answer, but I think it's it in a simplified way.
Yeah, I think an equal opportunity puts everyone as equals, and it suppose everyone has the same condition to
Mm.
access this opportunity, and they don't make difference like, oh, if we have, I don't know, 10, how can I say this? 10 students vacancies here to people to study, and we just put this. We have 10. We want 10 people. Probably depending on the contest or depending on the efforts that people needs to be there. Probably it will be just rich and white people. So what about the others? And if you
Yes,
look at places when you look at like medicine, doctors,
yeah. If
students,
you if
they're
you
all
if you
white.
if you look
So
at medical schools, oh,
they're all white, full of men,
rich.
and yeah, so it's really complicated. That may be a equal opportunity, but then what about the others who wants to be a doctor? They can't be, or they're not choosing to be. So that's why that's when affirmative action takes place. as this way to make sure that those who cannot access this will have in law the right to be there, will have the opportunity, will have the support of those institutions to be there. That's how I would describe. What about you, Marcus?
Yeah, let me see. I mean, I think the equal opportunity is, for example, if you have two persons and one can see, another can't, give you the bug, the same bug for two people, for both. It's not equal because the people can't see one bug. If you don't have Libra, it's not. Those we can use this the equal opportunity if you give the person they can see one book, okay, e with one book the Libra for people that can't see. So with this action, we take the equal opportunity for both. Okay, is different to the affirmative action. Uh, the looking around for, I think the affirmative is everyone, but there is specific kind people, or maybe a lot of kind of people, but uh, Jeremy, Jeremy, I don't know is correct, Jeremy. In general, one affirmative action is direction for one specific people. So is there? I don't know if I can do the understand, but I think there's some way.
Yeah, yeah, I like the association that you did between blind people and people who can see. That was perfect in the sense of we can really visualize a person reading a book and then another person with the same book not able to read it because they can't see. It's, really sad. So let's go to question number 4. Is affirmative action a form of reverse discrimination? Do you think, Marcus?
Let me understand the question. The affirmative action from the preposition. I think it can be to reverse the discrimination, or I think better think the affirmative action to give the support to people. Uh, how can like the Ellie said, not the people don't smart or can go to the college, the university because uh, the affirmative action is the support. The reverse discrimination is you think they try to change the mind with the people dislike the some of kind of people. I don't know if I said correct because I a little difference and the reverse discrimination and what the affirmative action doing the real.
Yeah. And here in this question, reverse discrimination, it's something like affirmative action is being racist with white people because
Yeah.
black people have privilege technically because they have specific things just for them. So is it discrimination against white people just because they don't have a place specifically for them? This is what the question is about, and I think it's not, honestly, in my opinion. I think it's just a policy that it's made by a demand, that it's made by a lot of reasons and a lot of facts. So it's not something to create more and more inequality. And I think people just do it because they don't agree or maybe they don't understand the importance of this. But what about you, Ed? Do you think
Yeah.
is it a reverse discrimination?
No, no, I don't think it. Now I understood the question because I already uh, listened this uh, idea of reverse discrimination, and I think it make no sense. The idea of uh, reverse racism, this idea is have no sense. And some people that is against the affirmative actions uh, use this idea, but I don't think it uh, has basis. This idea.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. So let's go to question number 5. If you support affirmative action, should it be continued forever or discontinued at some point? What do you think, Elio? Should we stop someday?
Yeah, if the affirmative action changed uh, the structure of our society, it could be abolished one day, but it takes time. It takes time. But I think it's the idea behind the affirmative action policy. Try to change the structure of the society. So one day it will be unnecessary.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think someday it should be stopped. But honestly, I can't see this, not in this century, not
No, no,
when I'm
it
alive.
takes
Yeah,
it
it will take,
takes lots of time.
yeah, yeah. And it's really complicated to see the world and especially our country like a perfect place to everyone.
Mm,
And but that would be really great to see that in the future.
yeah.
What do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, man. I think the uh, one day it could be stopped, but if everyone is the same level, but we know it is very difficult. A lot of people that I think in different ways and don't support the different peoples, and I think it's difficult to stop the affirmative action. But my dream is we don't need more the support affirmative because we live in the world and like I said, everyone is the perfect person, the perfect politicals, and I know we know that is far away to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you too. So, question number 6, is affirmative action best administered according to the degree of inequity? If so, I think it's the degree of inequality. If so, which group should come first? This is really complicated, this question. And I think it's really compromising as well, this question, number 6, because who is the most damaged person in society? Who is the one who can access anything? Who's the one that is, crying, suffering, and just being killed every day? What would you answer, Elio?
Um, and if I understand the question, uh, I think the affirmative action here is made in somehow this form. They like in a university. There are some uh, quotes for racial, quotes for social, for indigenous, and it's not the same quantity. So I think I don't know how they developed this these quotes, but I think it's somehow this way they think which group is more underrepresented and try to correct this in the policy. But it's a guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know as well how they organize, how they manage everything, how they put more people in here and less people in there.
Mhm.
The reason why. But I think when it comes to racial, gender, and also from social, like being indigenous or being maybe things related to sexuality, like transgender, mostly transgender woman. And I think they prioritize them, but I don't see things related to sexuality that much, especially in universities. I just see if you came for a public school and if you are poor or if you identify as a black person or as an indigenous person. And I think that's the most common that I see. But honestly, I don't know how to put them like this is the first, this is the second, this is the third. I just don't know. It's so complicated, and I think a lot of people need the same attention. But what about you, Marcus? How would you manage everyone?
I mean, I agree with you. As if you could say what which one is the first. Everyone is your necessity, your personal, your yeah, opportunity. But nowadays, for example, in the reggae, we talk about a lot the racial code, but we don't listen talking about the genders, the code, the genders, or uh, the indigenous. Uh, if you have one day some code for everyone, it's difficult. Like you said, the racial is first, the trans is the second. Uh, we have the evolution a lot of things in this pollution. We, we politics is need the better minds and they think the different way and they catch everyone and put the special form and don't discriminate uh, anyone. Everybody, there are your opportunities the same way and one for one person that understands what happened in this project. Uh, we don't have the put from person that don't understand what happened with the racial, with the trans, with the everything, the indigenous. We have the put from person that understands a lot the subject to do the special politics for this. And maybe this way it can the better way to imagine who is the first for this way it is.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. So now we have four questions. Question number 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm not sure if we will last that longer to answer all of them. So, Ed, you can choose a question to us to talk about. And you can also read this question and start answering. What question would you choose?
Let me read just a sec.
Okay, it's okay.
I think number 9, for instance, should affirmative action should affirmative action policies be the same in all countries?
What do you
Obviously.
think?
I don't think so. It depends on the constitution, the social constitution of the country. So it depends. Maybe in a specific country, it is the affirmative action is not necessary. Who knows? But there are countries that it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about this, Marcus? Do you agree with Eddie? Do you think should be the same in all places in the world?
I think we have the culture different the culture the the people the another country. So if you put the same uh, mm, affirmative act here in Brazil, the one culture, one affirmative act that we use there in Africa, in South Africa, or in Germany, I don't know, anywhere, uh, that can can take some irregular difference because not the same. I believe it's not the same thing. You know, we have the thinking here in Brazil. What's better for Brazilian people? You know, uh, because uh, perhaps what's good for the German people is not so good for Brazilian people. You understand? Então, I think I don't agree that they take the same way you you take the another point for it. I think that as sometimes we can learn or how can I say uh, improve actions and plus one thing that's so good in other countries can be good for us, but not all the action. So some some pieces.
Yeah, I really agree with you, Marcus, because every country has a different history, different backgrounds, a different population. If we look at Brazil as an example, we have people from all ethnicities, from all colors, from all forms, and it's really complicated to see another country that doesn't have that diversity as we do. We have a lot of indigenous communities, but some countries they don't have it anymore because they were all killed or maybe they were, I don't know, something happened to them, but it's not the same. And in some countries, people may be richer, and in another countries, almost everyone is poor. So what affirmative action should take place when almost every person have the same economic conditions? And it's really complicated actually to think of it in a global way. Of course, if
Because
I'm sorry?
no, I will say that I will say that is we have already people different. For example, in Rio Grande do Sul, there are one kind of people, and Nordeste with the a different kind of people. The Amazonas you have. If you imagine they take the action in other countries, much more difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Some countries have problems and issues with immigrants. We don't. We don't receive a lot of immigrants, just like some country receive millions of people. So it's really different, the dynamic, because they're new people from another country. So it can be really complicated. But yes, I think it shouldn't be equal. So Marcos, now it's your turn to choose a question. You can choose seven, eight, or 10 to answer.
Let me see.
Okay.
I don't understand this. Let me see this. How should schools and college choose between black people? Uh, uh, number number 7. How should school and employer choose between a black male job candidate and the white male job candidate?
How so?
Uh, is that's a difficult question, right? Uh, but let me see. Let me try.
You're muted, Marcus. Sorry.
From you, again, something.
I think you're having some problems with the, yeah, the audio of yours is having some trouble. While this, you can start answering the question.
Yeah,
How schools and employees
Yes,
uh, employers choose how should
yes,
it depends if in a ideal world they should they should choose the best one independently if it's the candidate is a woman or a black person. But we have to take lots of factors in this decision. If there is a quote for black person uh, or for a white, for a female, it should be considered. But I don't know if I was clear, but it's not an easy question to answer.
yeah,
But I think it's depends depends if there is um, affirmative action or not. But in an ideal world, it shouldn't be an issue, the color of skin or the gender.
yeah, perfect. Marcus, are you back? Can you hear us? Are you there?
yeah, but
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
sorry for this.
It's okay.
So I think I thought that the parents uh, have to choosing the people, the employers, uh, about your competence, not about your race or your genders or your age. We have a lot of comments about I don't have work now because I'm 15 years old. It's very difficult. I think the company, the employer, have to open your mind about these people and uh, hire the people for your competence, for your expertise, for what the people can do, what the people came in the experience for opportunity, the growth of the company. I think this way, not if it's black or male or white or everything.
Yeah, yeah. This question is, I think it's the most hard one that I put this here today because if we look like thinking of affirmative action, so we have an opportunity to put a person inside of a school or a business or a company, but we want affirmative action. Should we prioritize a black person who is who suffers a lot of racism and inequalities in society, or should we choose woman because it's a person who suffers with gender inequality and have been really damaged in the past and even nowadays, who suffers a lot of insecure when it comes to security, or should we choose the another person? You know, I just don't know how to manage this because some statistics proves that a lot of white female they are better in life than black men. Talking about economic things, talking about opportunities of work, of study. So that mean we should choose a black man because he's not as privileged as a white woman. But at the same time, woman suffers a lot of gender inequality. So how can we ignore that and choose a man who is, ahead of everything? But it's a black man. So that's really complicated. And it gets me a little, I just can't. Andrew, do you want to say
Sorry,
something?
I was mute. I was remembering. I have listened months ago a podcast uh, about this topic more, but and they said that something about we talked on our question 6 that there are degrees of uh, inequalities, and a black woman is more than a black man. There is
Yeah,
a
yes.
degree of I think prejudice, right? It's
Yes,
prejudice.
yes.
Yeah, there is a degree. It is, and when I listen this podcast, it clears my mind because I've never thought about it. It's very difficult to to think the things this way.
Yeah,
But
and we can even put more things like if a black
yeah,
transgender woman with disabled capabilities, like she can walk.
hmm,
So how is this level of inequality? And it's really
yeah,
complicated because each time there is so many specific things that we can manage to put them, oh, this is the first, this is the second. And I think that's wrong sometimes to put people in second and third places when they should receive the same attention. But it's really complicated to recognize that there are differences between the ones who suffers a lot of things in society. Do you want to add something, Marcos?
Yeah, man. I'm listening to talking the value. I think how can nowadays a lot of people that think it different to us. A lot of people do disagree or don't like the right. I don't like the black person is worse than the white person. Man, it's horrible.
yeah, it's an
Uh,
absurd,
a lot
right?
of a lot of information we have today, the evolution we have, and a lot of people they make the treatment with one person different, another person. Uh, unbelievable, man. Incredible.
Yeah, that's why people say it's structural in our society.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
totally. So guys, unfortunately, we have to end the meeting because there's no more time to answer all the questions. But I want to know a quick feedback about you. What was your favorite question and why? And if you like the subject, if you pretend to come back to my meetings because it happens each week, and I'll be really glad to receive all of you here again. Starting by you, Elio. How was it for you?
I really enjoy. I like to talk uh, about these topics because it's not an easy topic. It was easy because all of us think the same, but it's interesting when we have someone who disagree as well. It is nice. Uh, I really enjoy it. I will try to join your meeting in a new opportunity. Thank you, Victor.
Okay, thank you for coming. What about you, Marcos? What was your favorite question?
Man, this is a difficult question, a hard question. I'm very nervous now because my second time here. I I try to adapt it and feel the process because I have been studying alone in English, so I forgot a lot of work because I I I don't know everything, of course. Was was very good, man. Was very good. I like so much, and I appreciate that. And thank you for your support, man.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Thank you for coming. And I just put here in the chat the feedback for you to enter. And also, if you want to check some more informations about the subject, you can visit this website that we read in the beginning of the conversation. So that will be available for you. And thank you all again. And I hope to see your faces here again in next future immersions. Next week, I'm doing one related to a TV show, but it's not just about a TV show. There are some questions about, feelings, world issues, and a lot of things. So I want to invite you to come again to the meeting, okay?
Okay,
Okay, so bye bye, guys. Have a good night.
bye.